What's going on, everybody? What you're looking at right now, I'm zooming in a little more for you. It's the Pallet Homes, the pop-up Pallet Homes in Greensboro at Pomona Park. That is in Greensboro on Clifton Road. There's no parking for me, so I had to park on the adjacent block, which is even better because I could just sit here and give you the video from my own vehicle. See, the parking lot here, they got it blocked off so you can't even go in. And what this parking lot here is, what you see in front of me, that's a parking lot like a safe haven for those who are homeless and sleeping in their vehicles. So that's what these parking lot is here for, that they're using at the park, at Pomona Park. Mind you, that this pop-up homes is supposedly 30 of them, okay, here. And this baseball field here at Pomona Park is also used for the disabled children and adults with special needs, okay. They use this baseball park. So in March, these pop-up homes, the middle of March, these pop-up homes will be taken down, okay. They'll be taken down, and we don't know what's going to happen after that. But I do have another location that I am going to go to and show you guys, that a hotel at the city of Greensboro also had brought, and that was to help combat the homelessness. And it still sits where it sits, on the opposite side of Greensboro. I want to say the east side of Greensboro. All right, so moving on. These temporary pop-up, the question for the temporary pop-up homes is, what's the end game? What's the end game for this? Because it's like the city did a rush job here, and you putting it on a baseball field. That's like a total rush job. And it's so much property around the city that they do have, that they could have done this. And mind you, here, as you see that building there, right here, you zoom in, that's where they would go to use the restrooms, wash their face, get drinks of water. Then that's only when it's open during the business hours. They opened up that the restrooms for those people that will be here in these pop-up homes, and they're all not occupied. You know, you may see a couple people walking around as I'm videotaping, but they're all not occupied. Okay, and once again, this whole parking lot here, they got it blocked off. So my plan was to go in to film and look outside, you know, stand outside and film, but they have it blocked off. Which I understand why it's blocked off for those who are experiencing homelessness and sleeping in their vehicle. That parking lot is used for them as a safe haven. So yeah, moving on. The cost for this was $535,000. Okay, that was the cost for these pop-up homes, and all I'm saying is the $535 was spent for roughly 2.5, maybe 3 months. I think they got these up and running the end of December, okay, of 2022, and today is January the 19th, 2023. So it's like, okay, so we did that. You spent that type of money for only 2 months. That's amazing. It should have been a lot more planning that went into this. You have places like New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, Bridgeton, New Jersey, California, Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle. They are being proactive, and they're getting ahead of the curve because they have a high homelessness rate as well, and they're doing things like tiny homes. California is doing like the tiny homes. Seattle is doing the tiny homes. New Jersey is doing Newark, New Jersey, and Bridgeton, New Jersey is doing the container homes. Which the container homes are something. Let me flip the screen. Which the container homes are something that is uh, sustainable for even working class folks. The container homes are great. The container homes are actually, they're really cheap. Look into it if you haven't. If you haven't heard about it, look into the container homes. The container homes, I mean, you have so many sophisticated bills on those container homes. Um, it's amazing what they do to the container homes. And I'm talking about the containers uh, that that they're using to ship product overseas. Those actual containers. Um, you could get a container for little of nothing, for like from maybe 12 at low $1,200 to maybe $5,000. You know, used, brand new will be more. Um, and it's amazing that that is not even being pushed, being that far as with the housing market in the United States, period. You know, um, with struggling to get lumber and all of that, like that is sustainable, that is cheap, but it's amazing. I've even talked to banks about it, and you can't even get financing. You have to get like special financing for it, and you would wonder, because I think about the millennials. When you look at the housing market today, it's not really many. It's not much option out here. Okay, and the way the millennials are moving today, in these times and the things that you see, they're not gonna want to go buy a home. Is that home gonna be sustainable for them that was built in 1940, or 1930, in 2030? You think they're gonna want to live in that type of home, and it's gonna need so much, especially if it had never had any renovations done to that home. So if you're looking into it, you're seeing that many young are interested in the tiny homes. You have so many people, and I'm not just talking in the United States when we talk about the container homes either. They're being done in Africa. They building those container homes. So my thing is, not to get off track, why would you spend $535,000 on that when you could have some container homes, 40 foot, 40 foot container homes, split them up, and you could have got two to three people and had bathrooms in them, even tiny homes. Okay, you can have these pop up container homes, temporary pop up container homes. It was Greensboro calling them. They don't even have bathrooms inside of them. It's just a pop up box with heating in it. And my thing is, this is what I'm saying: when we're gonna try to combat something, combat something like such as homelessness, we have to be you have to be strategic, and you have to be uh, advanced. You need to think ahead. You just can't plan something like this and then put it on a freaking baseball field, and then by time residents can get inside of them, it'll be time for you to take them down. They're supposed to have on site like a caseworker and things of that nature. But my thing is, once these homes have to come down in the middle of March, where and what is the game plan to keep up with those who maybe even had the opportunity to stay in them for a while, you know? And then how is the process go? What Greensboro, Guilford County, between Greensboro and High Point, North Carolina, they have almost 600 uh, people experiencing or that are homeless. Okay, what is the process to even get into these pop-up homes? That's what you know, if you're in the area, which you really haven't heard. What is the process to get inside of these pop-up homes? That's where I'm at with it. What's the whole process of that? And like Greensboro has 30. High Point has High Point, North Carolina only has 5. Now I just told you guys between Guilford County, which High Point consists of Guilford County as well. High Point only received 5 of the pop-ups, right? I said it's 600 between Greensboro and High Point that are homeless. What are 5 temporary pop-up homes doing? And when I say pop-up, these things literally just pop up. So they take them down and they bring them back out. So my thing is, okay, they wanted the Greensboro idea, Guilford County idea was, but let's put these pop-up homes here, for those cold nights and everything like that. Okay, great. But 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 what about when the summertime comes? It gets very hot in the summer too, Um, if you're not from the South and if you've been through the South, that heat'll bear down on you. When it's 90, it can feel like 100, and when it's 100 and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So what about those months? What is the actual game plan? What is the end plan to this right here? The folks. So there's no okay. So the folks have to go down to what they call the IRC building, which stands for the Interactive Resource Center, and that's where they could go for showers and to handle any business, wash their clothing. But from my understanding now, the IRC building is closed on the weekends. Okay, so on Saturday and Sunday, the IRC building is closed. So what are the folks here at Pomona Park temporary pop-up homes, what are they supposed to do? And they give them 4 bus passes. So they supposed to go to IRC building to get their food, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. So you think about it, they have to take a bus, okay? So a bus would come get them. Okay, so this is the bus stop right there, all right? So the bus will come get you, right? So by the time you get back downtown, which is like 5 miles from here, okay? But public transportation got to go, it's not just a straight shot, okay? You got to make stops. So you figure by the time they go down and if you're going to get breakfast, by the time you get down there, you might as well hang out down there, because by the time you get back up here, you're going to have to turn right back around there for lunch if you want lunch, and so forth with dinner time. I feel like it was totally not properly planned out at all. So my thing is this, okay? So I'm looking here, and I'm looking here, right? And all right, if we're gonna do this, why you guys can't have food in this building? This is all part of the park here, okay? All part of the park here. And mind you, not even doing this, they put the housing there, right? But then you took away from the kids that's in this area that may want to go over on a nice day like today. It looks a little gloomy today, but it's in the 60s. You get some days when it could be in the 50s, and But what about the kids that might want to come over and toss the ball around, play baseball and everything, or whatever? They can't, because you put the pop-up homes there. Not blaming those who are experiencing homeless. I'm just saying, they can't have fun. So you're a community here or something. You're inconveniencing like everybody for something that was not thoughtfully planned out. And when you don't plan something out, nothing good comes out of it. Nothing good comes out of an unplanned plan, if I may say. So yeah, moving forward here, because I'm reading through my notes here, making sure I didn't skip over anything. So yeah, and another thing to add to the homelessness rate here, just to talk about here, like I said, Guilford County has roughly 600 folks experiencing homelessness. Um, they break that down, and this is from a 2019. Um, this is from a 2019 stats. That is roughly every for every 10,000 people in the area of Guilford County, there's 11 people experiencing homelessness. In North Carolina, to be honest with you, I would have thought Charlotte, North Carolina, was had the most when in the state had the most homeless people in the city, because from what I learned a long time ago, and you can do the statistics, you can look this up yourself. Charlotte, North Carolina, is actually larger than Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, statistically, they're larger than Atlanta, Georgia. Um, so I thought, and if you've been in Charlotte, North Carolina, you've seen, the homeless rate there. Um, but surprisingly, Asheville, North Carolina, has the most, has the highest homeless rate for every 10,000 people. And I think that's Buncombe County. Don't hold me to that. I can't. I think that's Buncombe County, Asheville, North Carolina. Don't hold me to that. If you're from Asheville, North Carolina, don't come at me hard. Just correct me in the comments. But I believe that's Buncombe County. Um, Buncombe, Buncombe County. If I'm correct, I could be wrong. Correct me if you're from the area. Um, yeah. Asheville, which is in the mountains, beautiful mountains of North Carolina. Uh, they have the highest. Asheville, for every 10,000 people in the area, they have 21 people experiencing homelessness for every 10,000. I was like, wow, that was amazing to me. I swear I would have thought Charlotte had the highest rate. Moving on. What else I want to touch on? And once again, those numbers were from 2019 that I gathered, you know, uh, getting those statistics. And when we want to talk about who has the highest rate in the country with homelessness, you have New York City standing at 78,604 people experiencing homelessness. You have Los Angeles, the city and the county, with 56,257 people experiencing homelessness. Seattle, Washington, King County, you have 11,199 people. San Jose and Santa Clara, that's that's California. They have 9,706. And all besides New York City, I haven't heard of doing anything with. I could be wrong if you're from New York City and but I haven't seen anything about what they're doing with the homeless. If they're building any tiny home communities, even container home communities, and I could kind of understand it may be hard for them because it's so congested, and so it's they have a lot of residents there. So I can understand it may be kind of hard trying to find or get proper adequate space. But everyone else, Los Angeles, Seattle, San Jose, and Santa Clara on this list, they all have been real proactive with their not-for-profit groups jumping in and helping out. You even have certain states where their high school kids are helping build tiny homes for the homelessness, for those experiencing homelessness, and those high school kids are getting credit. Once again, bringing back those things in schools that will help um, better prolong, move, build. You know. So yeah, as you see a resident going in, getting to his pop up home. Yeah, but once again, this is it's a hard situation as it is, and it's sad, but it's really sad that they've taken a bait. You mean to tell me out of this entire city, you trying to say that you had no other place to put these pop up homes? You get, You trying to say you didn't have any place to put these when you actually did. You have a whole hotel. You spent 500. The city or county, whatever, however, and the IRC was part of this too. The planning on this here. I just want to know who's the urban, like why the urban housing planning didn't get involved. Like why are people that obviously know nothing about like housing, really setting things up? Why do they have something to do with this? Instead of getting getting folks that are able and capable of doing this. I'm pretty sure there's tiny communities around Guilford County and Forsyth County. I'm pretty sure that there were groups that came and spoke and tried to maybe make sense, but nobody wants to listen. But I had a mayor, Nancy Vaughn. I read an article uh, because uh, the folks who helped put this baseball field together and all of that for uh, the disabled, to play baseball games and have fun on this field. They were concerned, about these homes tearing up the field and everything like that. So Nancy Vaughn and her constituents, they come out here supposedly, and they show them and they say, "Oh, this was great. This was great." How in the freaking world could you say this is great? You put these pop-up homes on a baseball field where kids would play at. Not only disabled children, there's not many places that folks with children with disabilities, where they many parents that have children with disabilities feel comfortable with taking their children to enjoy some leisure activity. And when one of the places that they have, you put freaking pop-up homes on them. So this looks bad on all ends, because this could have been done better. But you see, these cities and states are so shamed and so, they wanna sweep stuff under the rug. This is what you get. You spend $530 something thousand on this right here. So roughly 35 of these pop-up homes, you spent $535,000. And mind you, they said for the security for the parking lot here, this is pretty much a safe haven for those who sleep in their vehicles that experience homelessness. They spent $100,000 on security for that. So my thing was, you spent $100,000 on security for for like 2.5 months, because all of this is coming down. And then they said roughly $84,000 for like a case worker, case management, like someone to come out and talk to the. So my thing is like what other cities and states are doing that are being proactive and trying to make it suitable, comfortable for those experiencing homeless, and they building tiny homes and building container homes. My thing is, they have case managers too, and many of them talked about how case managers, they're making sure those experiencing homelessness they help them get IDs, they help them get their social security card, they help them get their license, whatever it is. So this won't be. They won't look at this as a permanent. This is just temporary, and they can move forward. My thing is, what is Guilford County? That is something else we have not heard of. Okay, it's amazing to me, and this is not the first time me reporting and speaking on homelessness in America, period. But this is shameful. This is very shameful right here to do this. And these folks, they're not gonna have much time in here. They're not even all filled up. Okay, about time it does, maybe they're gonna have to get out, because they're gonna take them down. And then where do they back to where they came from for the summer? Then what's gonna be the excuse for the summer? All right, folks, I'm gonna come back. We're gonna go to the next location, the hotel that I was telling you about that the city bought, and no one's in it. Okay. They spent $535,000 to put these tiny pop-up homes here, and I'm not gonna call them tiny. Let me stop saying that. They're pop-up, temporary pop-up homes. They spent 500, Guilford County, Greensboro, spent 530 something $1,000 on these temporary pop-up homes. They could have put that money to the hotel that they bought sometime early 2022, late 2021. No one has yet to heard anything about it. So let's take a ride over there. Where exactly these hotel rooms have bathrooms and everything. Let's take a ride over there, and then we're going to talk about it. So once again, these are the temporary pop-up housing here in Greensboro, right on Clifton Road in Greensboro, okay, off of Wendover Avenue, off of West Wendover Avenue in Greensboro. All right, I just wanted to show y'all that. And as we ride off, I'm gonna try to just get the footage for you guys, so you can get some more footage. All right, let's see here. That's it, folks. All right, folks, I'm back. So it was the hotel here. This was supposedly been what the city of Greensboro. I thought that they brought this hotel here. Well, motel, I should say, not hotel. Motel, there's a difference. And it's I don't roughly know how many units in here, but it's more than 30. I can tell you that. There's more than 30 units in here, and I'll ride around it to show you prior to me exiting out. And yeah, so my thing is, with the homeless rate and around America, period, and in the city of Greensboro, and just the Guilford County, period. In the next 2 years, the homelessness rate is going to jump up even more. Not just here in North Carolina, but around the country. You have to remember when the federal government gave out money to the states to help combat their homelessness, that money is going to run out in the next 2 years. Okay, some may have stopped, handing out assistance already. They were paying for people who were experiencing, not able to pay their rent, not able to pay their heating bill, some phone bills, of course, food assistance, getting extra food assistance if you were already getting food assistance. That funding is going to stop, and when that funding is cut off, that was helping folks hold on and keeping some folks able to stay in their apartments or whatever, their homes. It's going to run out. So if some folks haven't got their thing together by now, or some folks just can't get it together, you're going to have a higher rate. And if you're looking around and looking at the whole situation, you're going to have a higher rate. No, I don't hold cities and states. I'm not saying it's their fault that they have the homeless. They're experiencing high rates of homelessness. Some have been experiencing it a lot longer than other states. Numbers much higher than other states. I'm not blaming those cities and states because they have people who are homeless. I'm saying that you have a crisis. And as far as like the city of Greensboro, Guilford County, like I've showed you, you have a crisis and you have to fix it. You can't babyfy it. You can't do no temporary. You can't put pop-up houses on baseball fields for 2 months with no other planning after that. You can't play around with the situation. You have to dig in. You had a lot of time. When I think about city governments like Guilford County, Greensboro, you had a lot of time to figure this thing out. Okay, um, a lot of big cities, a lot of cities around the country have serious homelessness rates. You can't want to just sell your city on, hey, look at this, look what we got here, but then you can't sweep the homeless under the rug. They have nowhere to go. They're homeless. They're gonna be around. You have around the country. You have folks living off the side of the highways. You see panhandling at an all-time rate now. You get off a highway. You at a stoplight. I mean, there's folks everywhere. Some aren't really homeless. Like, we got to keep it real with that. You know. So that I wouldn't, you know what? I wouldn't even tie that to homelessness. I'm not even gonna. Me personally, I'm not gonna tie that. Some folks are just out here just trying to get over on folks, and they're just willing to take change instead of getting dollars. Making dollars. They willing to take your change, you and I's change, when they can get dollars. Some of them are panhandling right in front of businesses that are hiring. You have to pay for a peddler's license, and so how and you have to have a residence. You have to live in that county. So how are they doing that? I don't know. There's a lot of ways we can say how are they doing it, but still, they're able to do that. So if you're able to do that, however you're doing it, if you're using a family member's address, they're allowing you to use the address for whatever. If they're able to still do that, they can get employment. Those folks. So I'm not gonna tie that to folks who are homeless and actually looking and trying to find a better way for themselves. I'm not gonna tie that to that completely. What else before I end off here? Yeah, homelessness around this country, around the United States, is out of control. And I'm gonna tell you in closing here, as I've always said, and you guys always heard me say in my videos, COVID has exposed a lot of what not only just government, just people, period, what have people been turning the cheek on, just turning their head on. When COVID hit, COVID forced government, people in general, the general population, to face themselves, to look at themselves in a mirror. Okay? That's what COVID, to me, that's my opinion, what COVID has done. It has forced people to look themselves in the mirror. When it comes to cities and states, the government, federal government, to look themselves in the face. And everything that you've been denying and turning down and turning the cheek on for years, you have to deal with it now. It's like a business owner who thinks that, okay, you're running a ran down business or ran down buildings or whole motel, or so but you still keep getting residents, or you still keep getting customers. You think you're just gonna keep doing that? It's gonna come a point that all the money you think you've been squandering, you're gonna have to give it up. You're gonna have to pay it one way or the other. Either you're gonna fix the repairs, or you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose money on if you're trying to sell it. If you understand what I'm saying on a business tip. So at the end of the day, like, the homelessness is not going to go away. It's actually going to get greater. The rate of homelessness is actually going to go up. Okay? We have to understand this. Why do we think that the federal government, they didn't just give up that money just because, to help with different programs for people homes. They didn't do that. They can do that. They could have done that all the time for working class and everybody. You know, they didn't just give that money up to add on to extra food assistance or housing, help people pay to stay in their homes, pause people paying on their rent, or holding back or whatever the banks for your mortgages or whatever. All the things that they were doing during COVID to try to help the people. They were doing it because they know if they didn't, it was going to be crazy around this country. They already know the homelessness rate around the country, the statistics for the entire country. So they know that it was going. So what the rate that they're experiencing now? Okay, they're fine with that, but they know that it would be much greater if they did not do something immediately. Okay, but it's going to run out because they cannot hold the hand for too long. It's actually slipping. The hand is slipping away right at this moment. The clock is ticking when those funds are running out, and these states know that some of the funding is running out, especially with the school funding the schools. The money that these states were playing around with for the schools to put back into the school system, and a lot of states and a lot of counties around the country, they did great with that money. They did well with it, but it was many, and you guys know if you've been following me, I've reported on it. Many of these schools around this state, around the country, have been doing some idiotic stuff and not putting in the money to where it really needs to be put to. The same counties and states that cried about they need funding, they don't get the funding. Well, the federal government handed out the funding. Just many of these people still not doing nothing about it. Even today, even when I think about Guilford County, they have 124 public schools in Guilford County, and they're still, now they're saying they don't have enough money. Well, I told you guys, you're not going to have enough money. It's never going to be enough money when you're trying to fix. You're not going to be able to rebuild and fix 124 schools, or I wouldn't even say 124. You're not going to be able to fix 100 schools that have been failed with maintenance issues for 50 years. You're not going to fix them in 3 years. You're not going to fix it in 10 years. They've been failed for 50 years. You're not going to fix them in 5 years. Come on. So that money's going to run. They're going to have to send, if they don't spend that money, the government wants it back. So that's another thing. So yeah, I say that, and I stand on it, man. The homelessness rate in America is going to go up. It's going to go up in the next 2 years. We're in 2023, and 2025 is going to go up even higher. Every state, you got to think, is going to double that, because so many people have been getting help, and we guys got to be clear. There's a lot of people that's been getting help that probably didn't really need the help, and taking from those who really need it. Okay, what we're seeing that, okay, now if you had a local government, city government, county that was dragging their feet on a lot of things that needed to be done, now that they got the money to do it, they still not doing it. My whole thing is, my whole motto and saying is this. Well, I would just say saying. My saying is this. Those who have bad habits, when you have bad habits, and they just don't go away. And when we're talking about working and job and doing for the people, if you have I don't care how much funding you have, if you have a bad habit of not doing right by the people, then you're just not going to do right. It don't matter what money is put in your hands. They can put $50,000 in your hand to help out one side of a city, to do some type of little small construction. I'm just making up a number. That whole $50,000 may supposed to win. They're gonna put $5,000 in and do the rest, and put the money to the special interests or their buddies and partners on the other side. We know how this politics run now. it's so much. It's so much that people can see now. You know, you, you can see the funding that was handing out from the federal government to these states. You can see it. It's online. It's not like back in the day where you had to ask about certain things and then you just had to trust their word, and, or trust what they're showing you on the paper that they could have typed up. No, now you can see it on the internet for yourself what was done. Okay? What was handed out. You can go and look it up. So, yeah, that's my time, folks. I just wanted to, I wanted to tap in and show this and talk about this, because it's serious, and it was just shameful to me to see them put those temporary pop-up homes, and literally they're pop-up homes, like literally like Lego pop-up, like Lego, like pop-up, like paper pop-out houses, like literally that's what those are, and they put them on a freaking baseball field. That was shameful and sad. When I think about my numbers could be off a little bit, but you guys, if you've been following me, you know I talked about it before. The city of Greensboro, I believe they had got from the federal government $50 million, and the county got $100 million. I don't know. Remember, if you're from the city, if you're from the county, then you know that money, they were going around at one point. Well, the city of Greensboro was going around at one point, and they're like, hey, help us, let us know what we should do with the funding that we're getting. And then when people try to go online to put in your 2 cents about what you think they should do with it, you really couldn't get in. It was like, you really couldn't get on the site. So, like, what do they do with that money? You know what I'm saying? So, but we're doing, sorry for my hand there. We're doing things such as like spend $535,000 on a temporary spot for 2.5 months. That's what they saying they spent. I can't believe it. That's not even tiny. The tiny house, you could get more than that, okay? You're going to get a bathroom. You're going to get more than that than what they showed there in that one room with a type of bed, okay? I just can't roll with that, but whatever. I wanted to show you guys that, to show you, how how people would try to make something seem so great that is just piss poor planning. You cannot make people think that it's beautiful. It's beautiful outside when it's just a whole tsunami going on. In some people's eyes, the tsunami might be beautiful, but in the majority, the tsunami is not beautiful because it's messing up, it's tearing up everything. It's washing homes away. People are getting washed away. Yeah. Only those who may say, oh, that looks beautiful, are those who standing off from afar, who are not even affected by it, who are able to stand far, far away or to look at it on a television and may say, wow, they see the beauty in it. There's no beauty in that. There's no beauty in that. People have to stop doing temporary things, trying to make it seem such a large thing. So they built those pop-up houses, temporary pop-up houses there, and try to make it seem like it's a great thing, but you put it on a baseball field that are used for the disabled children. They use that. They play on that field. They use that baseball field. That field was there for them. Okay? I'm just going through my notes real quick before I end it up with you guys. Yeah. I just want to go through before I end it off with you guys. Before I let y'all go, I just want to make sure I covered everything that I wanted to cover. So once again, those pilot homes, pop-up pilot, temporary pilot homes in Greensboro or at the Pomona baseball field, Billy Knoll Park, Clifton Road is on Clifton Road off of West Wendover Avenue. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure, folks, before I wrap it up. But yeah, that's it, folks. That's my time. I hope y'all enjoy it. I hope y'all share it. And I'll talk with you guys next time. This is Space Invaders TV.